Okay, I want to say this first because I know some of you are probably feeling it, but if you've heard me talk about human design lately and you're thinking, okay, this makes a lot of sense, but I really don't want another thing to learn. Like, I don't want to, another to do, another, something. And I totally get it. I don't want to add, to your plate. I don't want motherhood to feel like homework, and I don't want it to feel like you have a system that, I have to manage or get right. And I don't want it to be like another way to have, you feel behind or for you to feel behind. So let me tell you what human design actually looks like in my real life, because it's not what people probably think. So I don't wake up and say okay, what does my chart say I should do today? I don't follow rules. I don't structure my days around it. Honestly, most days I'm just trying to get everyone fed and keep the house, from completely falling apart and, just make it through without totally, blowing up. So what human design really gave me wasn't answers. It just gave me permission. So it gave me permission to stop forcing myself to operate like other moms. It gave me permission to stop asking why I can't handle, what she handles. It gave me permission to stop assuming something was wrong with me. And what it looks like in real life is this. So when I start feeling overwhelmed, instead of just pushing through it, accepting it, I pause and I ask myself, am I actually at capacity right now, or am I overriding myself? And, obviously, there's moments that, I want to always go back to, I am still a work in progress, and I do not do this every time, but majority of the time, yes, and I'm getting better and better. So sometimes the answer is really simple. I need quiet, or I need to stop talking. I need to sit down. I need to, go take a, 5-minute break. I need to, pop on a podcast. I need to, do something that I enjoy. I need to let something wait. So before I would have told myself to just try harder, figure it out. This is it. This is the way. And now I just adjust. So another way this shows up is with routine. So I used to feel so much guilt that I couldn't stick to a certain schedule or system. I would start a, workout program, or I would start this new routine. And I would fall off, within, 3-4 days or, a couple weeks or, something like that. And I would see other moms, doing morning routines, or what looked like, on Instagram, or other moms, sticking to meal plans, or more structured days. This is what we do then, this is what we do this hour. And I kept thinking why does this feel very impossible for me? And human design helped me see that I don't need a rigid routine or schedule to be a good mom. I need rhythm. So I don't need a something that is calendar blocking, never really worked for me. Whenever I was in the corporate world. And so I need a lot of flexibility. And that's what my human design had given me insight to, and I need permission to pivot without making it mean anything about me. So instead of forcing perfect routines, I build my days around just a few anchors, and I let the rest just kind of fall into place, move. And that alone changed everything for me. I quit having so much anxiety about, all my tasks and to-dos. I have a to-do list, and it's very precise and intentional, and I do things that only like feel in flow to me on that, and then I'll go and mark them off. And so here's the biggest part, the part that I, don't hear talked about enough, is human design helped me stop judging myself. When I'm overstimulated now, I don't spiral into like, what's wrong with me or why am I like this? And, to give you guys, some concepts of, what's been going on in my life, it's completely turned like 180 of what I thought my life was going to be in the last like 6 months. Really throwing out an old identity of mine that I, thought that's what I wanted since I was like a little girl. And I'll do, something like maybe a podcast later on, or, the more I talk to you guys, like you guys will just hear my story kind of trickle in. But it's been a crazy 6 months, and there was a lot of dark moments in the beginning of shedding my, old identity and who I thought I was going to be. And I did think a lot of times, like, why don't I, love this? Or like, why can't I handle this? Like, why can't I perform at this level? And like, it's just so draining to me. I was miserable, and, human design gave me self-love. I think, when those moments, are like whenever I am deep in a moment of overstimulation or, nervous system crash or a burnout, I am just like, oh, my nervous system is done. Like, it's fried. I've hit my breaking point. Like, that's it. No story, no shame. I support myself instead of just criticizing myself constantly. And so that's what using human design actually looks like. It's not something you add to your life. It's something that helps you stop forcing yourself. And if you take anything from this episode, just let it be this. You don't need to do more. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need another system. You just need permission to listen to yourself sooner. And if you're curious about your human design type, not so that you can study it constantly, it's so that you can understand yourself a little bit better, just shoot me a quick DM, just say HD or human design, or just say like, I'd love to know my human, whatever. And I will be happy to send you over your human design chart or your human design profile, so that you can get some insight. And I want every mom to know this, and I want everybody to know actually about human design. I just really have a soft spot for mothers because obviously I'm in the thick of it right now, and I'm a full example of how it's benefited me in my life and my kids' life. And so I want to share it with the world. And so like I think it's such a pivotal tool for you, for all moms and for everybody. And if you're in a season where like everything feels like super heavy and you just want like a reset, something that's super straightforward, and this goes for, that person who is, at the nervous system overload, burnout. I have a 7-day clean mom reset, and I made it because I needed it and just decided to share it with you all because I think it's an amazing, like great starting point into this journey and just to kind of getting yourself, a new beginning. And if you want more of like personal support, like figuring out what actually works for you in your life, love to do a personal strategy session. It's pre-recorded, so we don't want to, you don't have to find time in your schedule. I will just do a deep dive into your human design, explaining to you, the main points, nothing that's overloaded. And also opening up how to, if you have children or, a significant other, we can get into communication, how to better support them, understanding how that relationship would, be smoother, softer. But either way, I want you to hear this. You are not doing motherhood wrong. You're just learning how to do it in a way that fits you. And that's allowed.